What an evening. I'm incredibly humbled to be here amongst so many accomplished and amazing laureates. Thank you so much, the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame, and those folks who recognize the global work of critical care medicine. It's a great night for critical care, and having learned from and worked with Arthur Slusky, I know our ICU community in Canada is really, really being reverberated here, and it's a thrill to have that seen and recognized, as Art said so well, especially coming through the pandemic. So, in thinking about that music, don't stop thinking about tomorrow while trying to live in the moment. I know that is something that everybody here has struggled with at some time in their life, and I certainly struggled with it, recognizing that I wanted to help critically ill patients and knowing that the clinical research lagged far behind in critical care than other disciplines and specialties. So that took me away from Canada to Stanford University, which was an intensely physiologically grounded training program. I was surprised to find a healthy dose of moral reasoning and clinical ethics embedded right into the foundation of that training program. And that's really been a bedrock for me as a practitioner. And it's come through as a focus of my teaching. It's informed some of the quality improvement projects we've done at St. Joseph's, and also has informed some of the research choices that we have made. Because understanding our shared humanity with the patients and the family members for whom we care is everything. Fast forward to my repatriation to the best university, McMaster University. I was so happy to be recruited to the best hospital, St. Joseph's in Hamilton, and so proud to work with our sister hospital, Hamilton Health Sciences. Here in Hamilton, I also had the great privilege to work with the late, great David Sackett. And okay. Now, David was a really fun guy. And he said, now, in setting your goals, thinking of your priorities, you've got to realize you're going to reprioritize what you do when new opportunities come along, but discern when new opportunities are actually opportunity costs in disguise. And those were very valuable words as I went forward and thought about my own career as a clinician, a teacher, and a researcher. And I've tried to pass that message on to others. But Dave also said, have fun and color outside the lines. And we sure tried to do that. My greatest gift was being mentored by Gordon Guyatt with his incisive intellect, his exceptional editing, his clarity of thought, and his incomparable attention to scientific integrity. I soaked that up. And Gordon, thank you so much for being there through this whole journey. You've just been a rock and an inspiration. And some of you probably don't know that I'm actually a newlywed. Uh-huh. First time married. To my long betrothed, Robert Douglas Shepherd. Himself, he's an ER doc. He has been a soulful, solid sounding board for years, discussing all the dilemmas that come up in a busy clinical and academic career, and font of wisdom. And I'm so grateful for that, Bob. We've had amazing parents. My brilliant brother Richard Cook is here and his partner Jane. We had amazing parents. They're 98 and 96-year-old immigrants from England via India, and they sat us down 6 p.m. every night for dinner. Values were shared. Our viewpoints were elicited. They hoped we'd have a fulfilling life doing whatever it is we wanted to do. But they introduced this idea of trying to make the world a better place tomorrow than it is today. I know both of us have tried to live with that in mind. Like many people have spoken about, we are here because of the community of people with whom we've worked. We're here because of family. We're here because of friends. We're here because of work family, our friends who are our colleagues. And I wonder if anyone here knows Ellen, France, Nicole, Neela, Lois, Lori, Lauren, Marilyn, or Diane. These Wonder Women are the data managers, project coordinators, and data analysts that turned so much of the research that emanated from Hamilton to generate evidence that then was translated into knowledge for the improvement of the processes of care and improvement of the outcomes of critically ill patients. These are the most fun individuals I have ever met. So thank you.
Mm.
The inspiration for all of my work are the patients and their families, and also my amazing interprofessional colleagues with whom I stand shoulder to shoulder in the ICU, looking after patients day in and day out. And having some sort of shared vision of what we are trying to do has been incredibly grounding for me. Now, having been one of the founders of the Canadian Critical Care Trials Group, it's been incredible to work with colleagues from coast to coast. And one of the things we attended to quite intentionally is organizational culture. An organizational culture to a group of people is like personality is to an individual. And I've always been thinking about what organizational culture would I like to create? What organizational culture would I like to be part of? And with the Canadian Critical Care Trials Group, we focused on shutting down hierarchy, rigidity, and scientific arrogance, which is alive and well in research. Instead, we focused on equity, respect, ensuring creativity was celebrated, and we collaborated. We didn't compete. And that organizational culture took us to new heights. And with colleagues from across the country, internationally, especially our colleagues in Australia, I think we've taken clinical research in critical care from a little cottage industry to a major academic force on the global stage. And I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. Thank you so much.